Tom, good to see you. Plenty to talk about as always. Let's start with a fan advisory board meeting recently and things moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. We had an online meeting this time. Obviously, we've got supporters living in different areas of the country, and we want to make sure we can get as many voices in as we can. So we held an online meeting a few weeks ago. It was great to get some feedback that we'd asked for around some ideas around, obviously, Sixfields turning 30, projects that fans would like to get involved in. So we were able to get some feedback there, and also share updates on what my role's been up to, kind of general feedback from the club, and also to ask some additional questions about people's experiences. Obviously, it's relatively new into the season this time round, so it was a case of, limited experience maybe of this year, but actually what would people like to see moving forward. And I think that's an important part of the advisory board. It's about getting a range of experience, because obviously on a match day people want different things from the club. Yes, we all want 3 points, but actually before the game, during the game, after the game. So really interesting to gather those thoughts, and coming back to James and Kelvin and discussing those ideas and seeing what kind of solutions we can come up with, some of which will be short-term wins and others will take a little bit more time to put into place. But yeah, I think it's in a really good place. It's becoming more and more established, and hopefully some of the projects are already up and running. It was great to see Abby work with the first team for the goal gifts, and that was an idea that's come from a supporter and is translated now. We're seeing the goals as well to see those gifts shown. So it's nice to see those things, and obviously lots more things coming up as well.
Yeah, one of the things that's really important about any football club, particularly this football club, the history and the heritage, and you're currently looking at which sort of former players you could maybe honour and remember by naming areas of the East Stand after them.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can see behind us, there's different areas, there's different facilities, and I think the key bit here is when you talk about players, if we were all asked to name our favourite 11 from the last 30 years, 60 years, 125 plus years, people are going to have different opinions. But what we've asked from the groups, the various forums online, is for them to feed back to us with ideas that they've got. And I know I saw a thread the other day, had kind of 60 plus suggestions of different people, and it's interesting to see those different suggestions that people come forward with. And actually what we'll hopefully be able to do working as a advisory board is narrow those down, and then maybe put that out to a supporters vote to see who they want to be involved. And I think the key thing here is, there are so many players and they'll be special to each of us for lots of different reasons. But I think the one thing that's highlighted to me is how many players really have made their mark in history at the club, and hopefully, we can honour some of them in that way. And for those that we can't perhaps this time, it's then looking at other ideas to make sure they're still part of the history here at the club.
Sixfields turns 30 next month, of course, and a very exciting project that the FAB will be leading on to mark that anniversary. Yeah,
this is one I'm absolutely delighted with. It started from a fan's idea of looking at, how do we mark that anniversary, and kind of an idea came forward about, people being able to literally leave their mark at the stadium, so putting their name on it, and actually from there, working. And this is the nicest thing about the advisory board. It's working with the commercial department here. It's working with the board of directors to then shape this idea and take it forward. And what we're going to actually launch, or has been launched, is the fan stones that's going to be out the front of here at the West Stand, where supporters can buy different size bricks. So there's different size bricks that can go in there. Messages maybe from loved ones who are no longer with us, current family groups that attend. People can choose what message they want to put out there within reason, obviously. But actually what it's going to mean then is when people arrive here on a match day, there's going to be a great array of names of people associated with the clubs. And actually, for me on a personal level, it'll be great to purchase one of those, to see the family name there. And we're hoping lots and lots of supporters can get involved. We did share the idea with the advisory board at the latest meeting, just to give them a kind of heads up that this idea was being launched, and now it is launched. I think it's, we want to see as many people as we can get involved with it. And again, as these discussions take place, we looked at different locations. Would it be with the East Stand? And actually, when we've looked at different kind of factors, I think the West Stand came out as the key part here. It's the main area that people are approaching. Actually, we've already got some kind of references to former players, former managers involved there as well. But this one's about the supporters and getting their names in stone out the front of the West Stand. And I really, really look forward to it. And again, through those discussions, what we're also going to do as well is from the kind of proceeds of the sales of those stones, actually the kind of profits are going to be split between fan advisory board projects and also the academy team here at the Cobblers, which I think is magnificent, because it shows the kind of commitment to supporting our supporters, and also the future of the club. And I think that message is really, really key. So the funding from that will come in, and then as an advisory board, taking on board all of the supporters' views, we'll then decide what projects we want to do. And some initial ideas have already come up around some match day facilities, but look, we'll gather those ideas in and then speak to fans, because that's what this is all about. It's about communication from the club outwards and back into the club. And I think, you know, this Stones project is a great example of that in practice.
Yeah, the project seems perfect for the FAB. It's a way to mark the stadium's birthday. It's a way for fans to leave their mark in the club's history with a permanent sort of memento of their name in a stone outside the stadium. But also, you're helping to fund projects for the future.
Yeah, and it's exactly that. You know, I think we've always said we're incredibly proud of our history of this football club. You know, I've got my own memories, but actually, you know, the supporters are here, and there's people, kind of multiple generations of fans that have been here, some sadly no longer with us, and this is a way of, on a match day, seeing their name maybe as you walk into the ground, and that gives me a real buzz to think that kind of supporters can get involved in that. But like you say, it's then taking it forward, the academy developing the future players, the funding's going to help them, and like you say, kind of, you know, the facilities on a match day for our supporters that can enjoy their day at Sixfields for the next 30 years and beyond, I think is a project that you know, we'll hopefully see lots of support for.
We're both Cobblers fans, Tom, and you'll speak to hundreds, thousands of fans over the course of a few months or even a few weeks. Feels a good time at the moment. You know, the East Stand being developed, the strengthening of the squad, start of a new season, exciting new season, albeit in a tough league, but it just feels a very positive vibe around.
I think there is, and you know, as I've said many times before, I read all the social medias, the various different forums, and again, the positivity we saw on transfer deadline day, the commitment to bringing in another player there. I think I was fortunate. We spent the day up at the new training ground with the board of directors. It was great to meet the players, the staff, and actually that togetherness that we speak of is going to be even more important than ever this year, because there are some huge teams in this league with huge budgets, but actually, you know, we're Northampton Town Football Club. We've got a fantastic footprint in the community, and I think we've got to work together on and off the field to kind of keep that buzz moving forward. We know last year we enjoyed it, you know, to stay in the league, people wrote us off, and people will write us off again, but actually when you look at the feeling around the fan base, I talk to people and they'll say, you know, who are the front two going to be, who are the front three, and what a great problem to have. You know, sometimes it's a case of there, and I think, look, to remind people, I don't pick the team. John and the management team are doing a great job of the things on the field, but you know, we as supporters have got our part to play there as well. And I think, you know, encouraging when things perhaps don't go our way, but like you say, and I think it was mentioned on the radio the other day, there seems to be a real buzz about the place, and you sit here at the moment and look through, and it's fantastic that you can't see most of the lift tower and you can't see the floodlights across the rest of the town, which you know, the progress is there for all to see, and hopefully once that's completed, you know, we'll get that real buzz back every single match day of supporters getting right behind the club.